Casey with Big Blue Couch Media. I'm so excited to talk to you. And you've just completed our social media management certificate program, sharpening your saw. You already had lots of skills in this area. But I want to talk a little bit about scheduling content, managing images. This is something you've done professionally for the school, and now you're out on your own for other social media managers.
I learned how important the skills of making a calendar and organizing my content during my time at Wayne Community College. We tried to make 2 posts a week or 2 posts a day, 7 days a week if we could. Weekends were usually a little thinner, but it was so important to have a set plan, because it allowed me to also plan to produce the content, not only put it out, and then having everything ready to go and scheduled, and you didn't have to think about it anymore.
What were some of the things that you learned over this time period that you didn't anticipate when you started?
Well, it's just like everything else. Something's going to go wrong. Something's going to come up. There's going to be something that's more important that's going to push your schedule or change your schedule. One of the things that I think was so important that we did was do student features on the different programs that the school offered. And I could plan all of this out and say, I want to feature this program and this student on this day. But if I couldn't make that appointment happen, life happens with the students and me and everyone involved. And it was so important to have a backup plan or a backup student, even if I knew on Monday, maybe that's your feature day, and whether, if you apply it to another business, it might be a staff member, it might even be a product. If something falls through, having something else to put in its place was very, very important. Yeah.
In fact, what we talk about in the class on this is Evergreen and then catching the wave content. So there's really 3 components. There's what you plan for, and then there's backup Evergreen. And that's something where, when you post it, it's going to last for a while, so you can pull it off the shelf and plug it in. Catch the wave could be some big event. Let's say, an Elvis impersonator came to the school, unexpected, and you wanted to get that right in one of your time spots. The reason we call it catch the wave, it's kind of like a surfer catching something. We need to grab that. So I think one of the pieces is having enough holes available where not only can you substitute something in, but also if something big comes up, you can move that around to get that what's happening now event out there.
Right. There's flexibility that you have to have. You have to be prepared, but also prepared for change.
Yeah. And of course, there's stories of people who've done their own social media that tragically passed away and then tweeted 2 days later. I think Joan Rivers was one of them. That, it's unfortunate, but really being planned, having a plan with the flexibility is what I'm hearing along with it, and having some backup content you can put in there if something falls through, just like a TV show. I mean, if someone gets sick, they're ready to cut something in as well in your planning for your marketing and social media management.
Right, exactly.
Now I want to talk about images, because you have multiple skills. I mean, not only doing the marketing for small business now, but you also have had a professional career as a photographer too, and video. So could you talk about that integration with social media and any tips for somebody on it?
Right. So just a little background. I have 20 years experience as a photographer. I started at a newspaper when I was in high school, went to college for it. So that's my background, what's in me that I don't have to think twice about. I just go out and I do it. I find that that's one of the hardest things for people to do who aren't naturally inclined to do it. I have one client now. He's actually very good at posting reels, but for some reason, he'll take the photos and forget to post them. or, you know, maybe the lighting's not good. So I think if anything that you can do to do a little bit of research and practice that in your own photos, of course, right now I've got some steady lights on for this. My lighting normally in the house is not great. It's not the worst. I'm not going to put myself in front of a window and the backlit. So like there's little tips. You can buy these lights that are constant lights to help you if the lighting in your home or your business is not great, or just putting someone or something beside a window but not in front of it. Something as simple as cleaning the lens of your cell phone camera, because let's be honest, most business owners, yes, most
microfiber towels. We give them out in one of our classes, so they get it, right.
And I mean, even your shirt, like most business owners use their cell phones, and there's no reason that you need to go out and buy a $3,000 camera to produce content. It's all about the quality and the camera that you have now. I'm in a photography club, and we're constantly saying the best camera that you have is the one that you have with you.
Yeah. Yeah. And the key thing is the lighting, because imagine a hair salon, you might want lower lighting and it looks good when they walk in, but in a picture, it might look like a dungeon.
Right. Right.
You really want to think, am I getting enough light there for what I'm doing, so that you make sure you have enough light and it's able to work with that in your environment. And the cost of lighting down, I mean, for less than $100, you can get what would have been when you started probably thousands of dollars. Now I have fairly expensive lighting here, and they're about $300 a piece, these guys. And I just recommended in a class $79 that would probably give them pretty close to what I have.
That's about what I'm working with right now. It's all about how you use it and getting used to it, because the first time that you use it, it's probably not going to look exactly how you want it. But the more that you use it, that's another thing too, as far as producing images, video and stills. I'll bring it back to the class, because I think it was a very good way to put it. One of our main, assignment, other than the big project, is our 100 posts that we had to make. And the theory behind it is that if you create 100 of anything, your number 100 will be better than your number one. So you can do that and shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot, and you're going to be better. But also, like, it gives you options and variety, as long as you're not shooting the exact same photo every time. Bird's eye view, worm's eye view, from the sides, from the front, just step back, get closer. There's so many ways to change the same photo and make 20 different, and you can use that. And just because it's the same subject matter doesn't mean that you can't use that multiple times on your social media.
Yeah, I'm quite a bit older, back in the film days, and my photography teacher took me outside, put a Coke bottle on like a stump, and said, you don't get to take pictures of anything else until I have 5 original photos of it. And I think it took me at least 2 rolls of 24 images to pass on to the next. So you're right, starting to train your eyes as a business owner, because they can't afford, it's good to bring in a professional to do some quality shots like you do, or some origin video like you do with the owner, but they can't afford to get it out enough. And when you're working with them, if they can get some real-time content, share it on like a shared Google Drive with you, managing their social media, that's going to be more real, because people don't buy into this stock art stuff anymore. They want something real. And when you work with them in creating something they can afford, where you're helping with them, it's going to be a hybrid of their actions and yours. Of course, I'm sure they could pay you enough to show up as a paparazzi for their place every day, but it's not the best use of their resources.
It's really not. I went to another one of my different client the other day. I went to their business, and they have one business with several umbrella businesses. So they got several of their clients to come in to be our models, and we set up a time, and I came and did images for maybe four different purposes. For advertisements for them, and that's it's a very smart and economical use of a business owner's time and monetary resources to do something like that. Pay a professional to create your evergreen content.
Now let's talk about being organized as a social media manager and doing marketing for people, because that's so important. If you can't find it, you don't have it, is how we state in the class.
A skill that I learned years ago when I first started working at the newspaper full time was organization. And it's different for everyone. What I do might not make any sense to you, but I organize by year and month for some things, and by client, but also I number by date, because if I know something particular was shot a certain year and a certain month, I can go right to that folder and grab it. Another thing that I do is use context, well, I'll call them context clues, in my names of my folders and also my file names. So if Martin Brossman was having a ribbon cutting on March the 16th of 2023, I would have labeled it 3/16/23 Martin Brossman or Brossman ribbon cutting, so that I could do a search in my computer for ribbon cutting. I could go to the date. There's multiple ways for me to find it. And I feel like by setting it up that way, it's also making it easy if someone else has to go and find these folder or the folders of the photos for me. If I get sick, if I'm incapacitated, and someone contacts, my backup person and says, yeah, I'm looking for these photos that she took on this date or this time, I want them to be able to find it with as little ease as possible.
And that's what you do with your clients now, I know, because you want them empowered. How much do they want to do it themselves? How much do they want to pay you to do it? But that commitment that they aren't enslaved to you is, to me, one of the ethics that drawn me to your work and why I wanted you in the class. I mean, if they feel that they're hostage to the marketing person, they're always going to be on edge. They're never going to be comfortable. They won't build trust. And that's something I see you do that really will keep you around longer. If they know I could replace this person, what I found in the past is they'll do less to replace the person. If they feel they're held hostage, they're just working in the background. How do I get rid of them? How do I get a backup? That's a vulnerable spot for me. And how do I get them? And I think so many marketing people don't realize this, that you're creating them wanting to get rid of you when they feel they could not pick up the tools and do it themselves.
Yeah, I feel like that's one thing that I've seen from my clients and people that have prospective clients that I've talked to. They'll get in these contracts with these big companies and they do feel trapped, and they feel like they don't have anybody that's there to support them. They can't get the callback that they need, or they can't get the response. And there's two sides of that. I don't want anybody dependent on me. I'm there to support. I'm there to teach. I'm there to help, influence, however you want to put a label on it. But it's very important, specifically with business owners, for them to still have a connection to their social media, because it's their business. It's not my business. I can help you, but if I'm doing it all, then you don't know what I'm doing. I don't know your business maybe well enough to answer some of these questions. You still need to have that customer service part of it.
Well, I'd love to talk a minute about your experience of the class. You just graduated, and this is why I wanted to get you on, because you already had the basic skills. You joined the class to sharpen your skills and go, am I missing anything? Does it create? And it also can create revalidation by being in a group of people for 12 weeks and talking to them and going, wait, I'm pretty good at this. And we had all assortments. We had some people that go, look, this dropped in my lap. I now need to do it. We had people that were working in corporations where they were able to build up skills as well. And you were someone who went from a regular business, now independent, and chose this to sharpen your saw.
Yeah, so I was actually looking into the class before I left the college to take as an employee of the college. And, you see the price tag on it. And I had just left my full-time job.
Right.
I wasn't exactly sure what my business was going to do. Thankfully, it's going well. But I said, you know what, I can wait and take this later, or I can invest the money now into me and my confidence, because that is the one thing that I would say that I gained more than anything is confidence. You might think that you know what you're doing, you're confident, and like, I've seen this happen before, I've made this work before, but knowing, okay, I've made it happen this specific way. I've had people tell me, yes, this is the way to do it. Or, maybe here's a different alternative. It gives you different ways to think about how to approach situations. Of course, there's plenty that I didn't know going in the class. But I would say that it's worth the money for sure. If you're doing it on your own 100%, it's an investment. You're going to get a return on the money. Sometimes all it takes is one sale or one customer, one client, and you're going to get the money back, and guaranteed you are going to get more than one client or customer from what this class can help you do with your social media.
And that's what I love, because you go, I got another customer, in the class. And then the ending piece of the capstone project is our favorite, because then you get to see what your students have done. And we've designed it for people with busy lives. We don't have a lot of academic busy work that many things have. And the thing I wanted when we priced this is it to be affordable by someone like you, because you can go out and spend thousands of dollars on this stuff. And I've looked over some of those curriculums. I go, why are they learning this and this? They need to get some real world experience. That's what we customize this around, is real world, get your hands dirty, learn something, participate. Don't put anything in the class that's, I hate to use the word, but academic busy work. I had someone who wanted me to build a program once at a school, and they go, well, you don't have enough assignments. And I'm going, well, they don't need that. That's just filler, to make them look like you've done a lot. And I refuse to do that in our training. I want to get to the point. People are busy. They have lives, but also make sure they're building the basic check marks. They think about that liability risk. They think about the stakeholders. They think about the consequences. And that idea of who's your customer that's feeding you, who's the next, all of those. It's so exciting to see when someone like you that already brought skills then get better out of it.
Yeah. And that was fun for me to see, you've got this person that's like, oh, I have a Facebook, but I don't know that much about it. And I don't know anything. I might not know anything about marketing or whatever. And there's so many different, you do have the person in there that's going to know nothing to begin with. And then you're going to have the person in the class like me that's had experience doing this. And I didn't want to feel like a know-it-all in the class.
Yeah.
I definitely had to be conscious about being excited. I knew the answer, or, but it's fun to see how people interact. And we really did. I have definitely formed connections with other people in the class and messaging back and forth. And I've got a couple of meetings that like, we're just going to get together and meet because why not? Right. So it's interesting to have an online class where you form those relationships and you have a connection to that what that person is trying to do.
Yeah.
And you want to support them just as much as you want their support.
Yeah, that's what I really want. And we push that a lot. Make friends that you can have for life and work with, where you can go, what just happened to Google? Bob, what do you think about that new release of Google, what they did? I read the press release and I don't even understand it. And Bob goes, me neither. Let's work it out. And that's why we have the follow-on monthly meetings that people can come to that are no charge currently for any graduate or participant. But the big thing is how many of the people in the class get to know someone else. And the other thing amazing about it is how it works with beginning level in the field and people more masterful. And that's something Karen and I work hard to make sure we balance it. And then we do some one-on-one to fill in some gaps, so we don't have people go, oh my gosh, this is so basic. Why are they covering this? Or I'm just completely lost. And the course is built dynamically. So we look at that bell curve of people, and then we have some of the one-on-one meetings to bring people up to speed, and it works. And that's enjoyable because you get to contribute to other people as well as learning from them through the 12-week program.
Right. Well, whatever you guys did and figured out is working.
Yeah, that's great. Well, how can they learn more about you? And if they want to hire you, what does it take?
Okay, so my website is bigbluecouchmedia.com. I am currently sitting in my reasonably sized blue chair that I picked up this week. I'm huge on my branding ever since starting the official LLC. I'm on Facebook at Big Blue Couch Media. I'm on Instagram at Big Blue Couch Media. My email is actually bigbluecouch.nc@gmail.com. If you want to connect with me directly, send me a message. Or also my LinkedIn. I don't have a Big Blue Couch Media page yet, but you can contact me directly. It's Casey Mozingo, CASEYMOZINGO.
Yes, and we'll put the primary links in the area below too. So it's been a real joy having you in the class, and excited to hear about your future progress. And then, of course, I'll be looking out for business. I look out for people where they go, we had something where they needed a photographer, but you were in class during that time. How was it going to pass that on to you and have you miss the class? But that's something else I enjoy, is the people who stay connected to me, stay top of mind. And I go, I can't handle that, but one of my graduates do. And those that have figured that out really have gotten long-term payoff on it. Excellent. Thanks so much.
Thank you.